we've seen thus far. So that could actually be huge. A lot of these teams have been very wary of this Black Feather, making sure he doesn't get on the board. But on the flip side, no.
Okay.
Ooh, Petal and Jewel.
Wow. Didn't Fnatic pick Jewel at the preseason invitational?
Yeah.
I
think they did.
Go so well for them. As an aside.
The one thing I do want to say, though, is other than those last couple of picks, these two teams taking so much time on the majority of these picks, it just kind of shows you how much this matchup means to them. Like, they want to make sure they get as good of a draft as they can possibly think of, and they're both kind of trying to think what their opponents are going to do. There's a lot on the line here in this matchup.
I'm really curious about Jewel plus Petal. It doesn't seem like two heroes that necessarily have the same goals in mind in ways that they fight. Jewel is very, always go forward, never show your back, because that's where you're going to take the bonus damage. Petal is more like I'm going to kite backwards, jump away constantly, right? So that's kind of interesting. SK do round out with a Vox, probably for Kvalifar.
Yeah, and as far as...
And I've got to say, I'm very much...
Oh, indeed, and we just said in the loading screen there, we're like, what happened in this draft? Like, there's so many odd, like not odd, but like different picks. Obviously, first time we're seeing Petal today. Jewel is being picked up yet again, and we have a Black Feather too. There's a lot of interesting things that have come out that draft phase for sure.
Yeah, and Kvalifar got his Vox. I mean, if there was one guy that I know plays Vox to a very high standard, it's Kvalifar. He's always been a fantastic Vox player, and with the strength of Vox right now, we have to keep our eye on how he performs. Interesting that Petal has been picked up by Palmatoro. Obviously, Petal's still devastating in the solo queue. Even despite the nerfs, she's still very strong. But it's going to be Palmatoro feeling confident enough to take him, and I actually think it's going to be a really good pickup, because I don't know how easy it'll be to deal with the Munions, even despite the resonance bounces. Don't know how easy it'll be to sort of blast through those Munions as the Black Feather and the Vox. So we'll have to see how that one pans out. If TechnoJJ can play Jewel the way that Jewel is supposed to be played, all in.
All in, and speaking of all in, Net Toilette going really low here, just gets the impale. I thought he was going to live. Tyrose says, not today, my friend. Chases up, picks up first blood, and Palmatoro just kind of not in that fight whatsoever.
Yeah, I think that was more Net Toilette getting caught out a little bit by Tyrose. Remember, you can slow people down quite nicely. He found the executing blow as well. And Palmatoro probably couldn't really do much about it. He was farming his jungle. He didn't really feel like that was going to be a threat in lane at that point in time. And Net Toilette unfortunately just caught out very early on here. First blood straight over, but actually Fnatic are still the ones with the gold lead.
Yeah, that's all down to the farming of the minions right there. He's already 10 up, TechnoJJ, so something to keep in mind. And that dual pick, we've seen it once before today. Do you think it'll have a bigger impact in this game coming up against Kvalifar's Vox?
Well, actually, Vox is very mobile, so Jewel might find it difficult unless she gets early movement speed, or we see a very early war treads coming out from Net Toilette to actually keep on top of the Vox. But remember, when she is facing a target, she takes reduced damage. So as Kvalifar is kiting backwards, he won't be doing as much damage to TechnoJJ as he potentially could be to other targets, for instance. So keep your eye on that. But again, Jewel into a target that can kite quite easily and readily, like like a Vox, that might be a little bit more difficult.
Well, I'm going to have to interrupt you there real quick. Jetpacks, he's diving on in. The entire Fnatic squad, in fact, just getting sent really, really low. Nice Gideon wall onto Jetpacks. Does stun him up against the wall, in fact, but nothing too crazy happening just yet. But Kvalifar, you already saw, and if you was paying close attention to him, his positioning in that fight just enabled him to get so much damage down onto every member of Fnatic.
Yeah, and actually the Munions do a good job of actually delivering resonance bounces. That's the one thing that Petal will struggle with into Vox. The Munions deliver resonance bounces quite readily. So again, they took a lot of damage, and actually, because obviously as a weapon power Vox, you actually max your resonance bounce first anyway, because Sonic Zoom's great, use it for repositioning, use it for kiting, but you actually get a lot of base damage out of those resonance bounces early on. So you're going to see Kvalifar start to really do some early damage to these team fights, even despite not building CP. Also want to point out we're going to see a CP Black Feather here. So the poke from Tyrus is actually going to be very strong, and it makes it a little bit more easy to deal with the Munions as the Black Feather, because your on point will be doing so much damage, you might actually be able to burst through them quite quickly.
We'll see if he can be on point. And nice pick up by Palmatoro there, and again, a nice pick up by Net Toilette. we'll get some nice little power spike items as they just wander back to the lane, and that's going to be pretty big for them, surely.
Yeah, absolutely. The Fountain means they can team fight more readily. You're not seeing a Fountain on Jetpacks yet. I don't know how close he is to it. Doesn't look like he's going to pick it up right now.
I think he's got enough.
No, he's not. He's actually got 2 contracts. I didn't even notice this. He's actually got 2
there you go.
contracts.
No, he stole one. He got it. He got it. They've also found a fight there. They've also got a fight. Gideon Wall onto Tyrus into the wall. That just in time Fountain does manage to save him. However, still going down. In fact, Jewel, being the absolute monster that she is going to be able to pick up the kill. Nice return again. Power Toro just managed to get in those munions on the back line, and Cavalifar just being kind of caught out there. I swear that Fnatic was just kind of mispositioned, but they really turned that one around.
Yeah, you didn't have the power spike of the alternating current on Tyrant yet. He was still stuck on a heavy prism and a blazing salvo. And again, Vox with just a breaking point. Not a huge amount of damage output at this point in time. We talked about it in the previous game. You kind of have to wait until you're at the sort of breaking point double Tyrants monocle to really sort of come online. So yeah, I think just a wrong place, wrong time for Fnatic because for SK. Fnatic had the power spike of that Frostburn already completed on Palmatoro. You've already got the Sorrow Blade on Techno JJ as well. Got a lot of early damage coming through. Yeah, huge. I've got to notice that they're buying contracts that you don't regularly see here, Jaws. Both Jetpacks and Netwiller investing in them.
Yeah, that's kind of odd. And, whoa, speaking of odd, Cavalifar does get jumped on, Gideon Wall backwards, in fact. Does use the boot to escape, but you cannot escape Techno JJ. Beautiful DPS. I was trying to think of a word there. I was trying to think of something funny, but it didn't happen. Cavalifar
I think DPS is completely fine.
All right.
Perfectly good descriptive word. And actually, this is how you play Jewel. All in, on your target, blow them up. And I think Cavalifar definitely on the wrong end of those Thunder Strikes right now. He's really, really punished for it. Actually has to pick up a very early armor here. How much damage is Jewel doing?
Yeah, she does obviously have that Sorrow Blade, so she's hitting like a truck or like a small Yeti. Is pretty sure that's what she's riding. That Yeti?
She is riding a. I don't even know if it's a small Yeti. I think it's a fairly large Yeti.
I think it's pretty big. Yeah, all right. At least 2-person size or a lance size Yeti.
I mean, again, it's hard to compare sizes because everyone's kind of the similar model size in Vainglory. But you imagine if this was done to real scale, that Yeti would be pretty big.
Be pretty big. Be bigger than one of the turrets, that's for sure. Yeah. And Petal will be tiny, actually. So yeah. Thank God it isn't everything done to realistic sizes. Oh, get him all into Tyrus. He's going to have to back off there using his mobility. Not a problem, though. But Fnatic just constantly, big red button as well, onto Cavalifar, just constantly just pushing them into their turret, just leaving them no room to breathe.
Really interesting that they've got these protector contracts coming through. It's something that we were going to talk about. Usually you see Iron Guy contracts coming through or whatever, you're just trying to heal up and sustain and jungle, but 2 protector contracts coming through. I like that versus the Jewel. You know, you're expecting a lot of heavy bursts from the Jewel, and Jetpacks wants to aid the protection on both Cavalifar and Tyrus with a protector contract and his Vanguard. But it's interesting you're seeing it from Net Toilette as well. Maybe trying to protect Techno JJ as he goes in, you know, give the protector contract to Techno JJ, meaning he's a little bit safer when he jumps into the fray.
Yeah, I'm definitely curious to see, because I never seem to see them when I'm playing games, at least, and I haven't, coming from the Vainglory Invitational as well, I didn't see too many being picked up, so yeah, a bit of an interesting buy, bit unique in that sense, but we'll see how they do want to use them, like you said, maybe give it to the guy that jumps in, like Techno JJ, but it seems to be working out so far, 3-1 with a 2k, almost 3k in fact, gold lead. So that's going to be really nice for them in that back pocket, and crucially, we didn't touch on it, the turret going down as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Really good start for Fnatic. Palmatoro, often considered one of the best junglers in Europe, you know, showing how diverse he can be. I know Petal is a very strong pick right now, but Palmatoro looks like he's having great fun with it. Remember, he'll also have great control of team fights with his ultimate, those munions exploding, healing his team, which is great for Jewel, because imagine Jewel jumps in with her gap closing, and 1 second, we're going to fight. I'll talk about it afterwards.
Oh, hang on a minute. Yeah, talk about it in a minute, because Jetpacks is just getting jumped on. Gauntlet comes down, he leaps up in the air, gets a double stun as well. Techno JJ just gets disintegrated, and Cavalifar picks up the kill on the box pick. Almatoro going low as well, but those Munions just going to, yeah, those resonance bounces are kind of annoying when they're following the Munions.
Yeah, the Munions just delivering those resonance bounces, so, you know, maybe you don't have to deal with them. Maybe Cavalifar prefers it, just that they're going in.
Oh, yeah, please come towards me so I can resonance bounce you. Turret is going to go down. Will they chase afterwards? I'm not sure they will. Palmatoro escaping with an inch of HP is going to be able to survive, but Techno JJ, that damage that he received in that fight was just exponential.
Yeah, but he got stunned facing away from the team, and that's where Jewel is weakest. She has a barrier that I think it's like 270 degrees. I can't remember the exact degree, but basically 270-degree arc around her, I think, is reduced damage. And when she turns away, you hit her in the back, and that's where she's exposed. So, I mean, she walked directly into, or actually, I wouldn't say walked. I think it was a great placement of a gauntlet from Jetpacks, and that allowed them to then blow her up. I think Tyra's got a great executing blow, and I think Cavalifar picked up the final kill there. But I mean, it was just a really nice play by Jetpacks. Actually, Cavalifar.
Hang on a minute, Cavalifar, Githian wall from the Impale, somehow surviving still. Techno JJ, he's facing away, the weak spot of any player, or at least any of the players I make at least. How much I don't know, man.
I like the way you wrapped that one up, Jules. Yeah, let you do that again.
Oh my goodness. I don't know what happened there. Palmatoro manages to escape, and SK Gaming, they secure 3-3.
Oh, Cavalifar's dead.
Oh,
no, he's not.
No, he's not. Scoundrel, spoke too soon. Oh, Impale, it misses. Oh, no toilet. Oh, he's going to be fine. All right, all good.
Yeah, somehow, I mean, Cavalifar's had some real fancy feat this game, dodging Impales left, right, and center. And he's nearly at the double turrets monocle. He's already nearly there. Already nearly at the double turrets monocle at 11 minutes. This is going to be great for him because that's a huge damage spike. Be chunking through. If he can get to Palmatoro in the backline, Palmatoro is just dead. I wanted to talk about how these team fights function for Fnatic, right? You commit with Net Toilette and Techno JJ. Palmatoro from the backline uses his ultimate, those Munions explode, healing Techno JJ and Net Toilette as they've committed as the melee characters. And then obviously dealing the damage to the team and slowing down, making it easier for Techno JJ and Net Toilette to land the damage they need. I think Tyra's maybe got caught out potentially, but we'll use the Rose defensive, as I like to call it, the Rose offensive to get away there.
A bit more of a defensive play. I like the play on words, but that will mean Goldminer is going to go over to Fnatic. So that small push did result in a nice little swing of gold, 300 each in their back pockets. Yeah. And Techno JJ, so he's obviously going the weapon power build right now. Is he going to pick up a second monocle?
Not with the Blazing Salvo. It's more likely he'll go for a Tornado trigger potentially, but a lot of armor is starting to stack up on Cavalifar and Tyra's, so he might consider a breaking point. I wouldn't recommend it though. I would still prefer to see the critical strike coming out from Jewel because that's kind of where she shines. So you probably work towards a Blazing Salvo here. It's interesting that he didn't go that first over the Tyrant's Monocle. Usually you see the typical build path is Sora Blade into Tornado trigger, and then you pick up the Tyrant's Monocle afterwards.
Well, they're pulling the trigger now. Jetpack's gorgeous over the wall, but they're just going to follow him through. Not a problem. Even Net Toilette using the combat roll as well. He didn't stand a chance for that one. They're still going to chase it, however. No turret remaining. Remember, Cavalifar, nice. Happy feet there. Wombo combo. Almost. Big red button's going to follow it up. Palmatoro going in. He gets the kill as well. Githian wall into the wall. There's no petal kill for you today as Palmatoro is going to pick up the double kill and the ace. Turret next on the menu. And that means they are going to secure themselves a nice lead. 2k gold and 3 more kills as well.
And you know what? Techno JJ on this Jewel, Jewel's favorite item on the menu is global objectives because she just shreds through them so quickly. Goldmine dead in seconds, turrets dead in seconds. It's exactly what you expect from a weapon powered Jewel. So you'd give 1 inch of the game to a Jewel, she will just destroy everything on the map. And again, that was a little bit more like Jetpacks getting caught out, and then unfortunately Cavalifar and Tyra's tried to commit to the fight. Jetpacks died. Unfortunately, then they were out of position. Kind of punished there by Jetpacks being a little bit caught out. But again, they're still hitting their item spikes. You're still nearly at, well, you're working towards a broken myth now for Tyra's. Once he finishes that, it'll be great. And obviously, you've got that big item spike for Cavalifar, who's now picking up a reflex block. Going to stick with just the Tyrant's Monocle and the breaking point there. just that build. Actually, look at this.
Valafar, he does have double tyrants, but will he have the damage to follow up? Palatino is going to go down, almost falls in fact. And in fact, the entire squad there is just trapped in the gauntlet. Tyrus is going to be able to pick up the kill finally. In fact, a double kill coming through, and that is going to be it. The turnaround from SK Gaming. Ned Dwellette didn't stand a chance. Triple kill. We spoke about it earlier, Scoundrel. Double tyrants with the breaking point. You can see those stacks as well. Absolutely huge from him, and you can tell he's a Vox main.
And do you know what? That was all because Jetpack's made a play that was kind of redeemed himself. Jetpack's brought himself back from the brink of flame almost back to a redeeming position. And what he did is he basically got Palmotoro in a position where Cavalifar could commit to killing him. You know what we said right at the start of this game, George? We said if Cavalifar can find a position where he can start basic attacking Palmotoro on this petal, this petal was dead. And you know what? That petal died very quickly.
It was actually shocking how quickly he did die. Palmotoro just didn't stand a chance. Just the Munions not really helping him either. And that's the funny thing. They're just kind of impacting him a lot more, I feel, than they're actually helping him, just because of the resonance coming out from
Well, if
Cavalifar.
Fnatic are the ones to engage and force SK on the back foot, then the Munions are great because they
True.
are
Very true.
a tool that slows down the enemy team. They heal your own team members. They deal a good amount of burst damage. When you're the ones kind of being defensive, they can actually be a bit more of a hindrance, like you said. You know, the resonance bounces start bouncing off them. You know, they basically don't. They're not as effective on the defensive as they are on the offensive. Whoa, Cavalifar, that is ballsy.
Yep, speaking of offensive, Cavalifar, he's there doing free damage again. Scoundrel, please someone stop this man. Palmotoro doesn't stand a chance. He's going to have to run away here. Ned Dwellette, not long for this world. Cavalifar, this guy, just ballsy, my friend, but he can do it. He can do it. Unbeatable ace as well. The buff's going to come through. What are they going to do? That's the question. And I think a Kraken is going to get taken here. SK Gaming.
Cavalifar with those happy feet again. I mean, he just steps up and says, "Hey, Lance, try and hit me, mate, because there's no way you're landing those skill shots." And Cavalifar, the cheeky frontline Vox, kites it backward, gives Jetpacks the opportunity to land a great gauntlet. And this is a bait. It was all a bait, mate. And I rated it 8 out of 8 because Cavalifar brought them in and said, I'm overextending, guys. Commit to me. And you know what Fnatic did? They committed. And that's where Jetpacks pounced with the gauntlet, locked them in, and Cavalifar was suddenly like, yeah, you're not locked in. I'm not locked in here with you, mate. You're locked in here with me. And he just completely obliterates them.
Anybody who's in a tight situation with a Vox, just, it really burns, realistically. Palmotoro, again, just didn't stand a chance, had to run away. But did you see Techno JJ in that fight? That's my question, because all as I saw was the Yeti fall over.
Yeah, pretty much. That's kind of what I saw as well. Interestingly enough, you don't often like to go defensive items on a weapon power duel because you just want to be able to burst their carry instantaneously. He has gone the breaking point build as well. This is not a bursty duel build. This is not a bursty duel build by any stretch of the imagination. This is not the duel that jumps in your carry and two-shots them. This is the duel that has to build breaking point stacks. And as a weapon power duel in the melee range of a double tyrant conical breaking point build, you know, Vox, that's not a duel that's going to get many off. This is a build that's kind of hindering Techno JJ more than aiding him.
Oh, well, this is the breaking point of the game. Nice. Gauntlet comes through. He's going to stun up 2 people. Techno JJ, this is your time, my friend. This is where you have to pop off. The Kraken is going to go down. They are going to score 2 turrets, but the Vein Crystal is being attacked. Can they do it? I don't think Cavalifar is going to let them. The Vein Crystal finally gets shattered, and that will be SK Gaming taking game 1 off Fnatic. My